What's up, guys? Today we are gonna go over some tips to make you a better pad holder. And the first thing that I want you to keep in mind is keeping your stance realistic. Hitting pads should be simulating a fight as close as possible, so it's important that we're not just standing square. Most people fight orthodox, so standing orthodox as the pad holder is going to get your fighter used to seeing openings and understanding angles that are presented on that side. Fewer people fight southpaw, so it's important that the pad holder incorporates that stance too from time to time. Because a change in stance really does change things for a fighter, and it's important to learn that and get comfortable with that sooner rather than later in your journey. No watermelon head, which is what I refer to as people holding the pads this way. So wide, so far apart, nobody's head is actually that big. Same thing goes for when you're holding for body kicks. You're not holding the pads parallel to the ground so that your fighter is kicking up. None of this is realistic, right? You want to make sure you're holding the pads in places where the person would be striking their opponent. This way we are training our fighter on where to strike, where to turn your hip over, and what openings come off of each move. It's very, very important. Next, you want to make sure that you're incorporating defense into your pad holding. As the pad holder, it's your job to make sure that the fighter is defensively sound. You should be making them block, slip, check kicks throughout the session, the same way that they would be expected to during a fight. Now once you have your blocking and your defense down, from here you can start to build upon your counters, training your fighter on how to react and building their arsenal of offensive and defensive weapons. It's also important to remember that we have to move. Try not to get into the habit of just standing in one spot. If you're a super beginner, then fine, but even at the beginner level, it's important that you learn how to move your feet. Eventually, they will start to see the openings that each change in direction opens up for them. And don't overcomplicate it. If you're not yet comfortable calling for angles, simply walk towards your fighter, and that will force them to use their footwork to cut angles. And finally, you have to practice. And yes, you have to practice being on both sides of the pads. It'll likely feel like you don't know what combos to call in the beginning, and that's okay. Don't overthink it. Stick to your basics, and the more you do it, the easier it gets. Like everything else, consistency is king. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later.